All right, we are about to dive deep into the single most powerful piece of tech you will ever own, your own mind. We're going to explore its hidden operating system, using the wisdom of incredible mentors like Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins to figure out how we can finally take the controls of our inner programming.
So let me just ask you something right off the bat. Are you really in the driver's seat when it comes to your thoughts and your actions? Or is there kind of this silent partner running the show behind the scenes? It's a huge question, and I think the answer is going to surprise you.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to explore the idea of your two minds and how they get programmed in the first place. Then, we'll dive into the critical differences between them, uncover some amazing tools to rewrite that programming, and we'll wrap up with the single greatest investment you could ever possibly make.
So first up, your two minds. I want you to think of this as the invisible operating system that's running your life day in and day out, usually without you even noticing.
You know, the core idea here is actually super simple, but it is so profound. We're not just walking around with one mind. Nope. Every single moment, we have two different forces at play. The one we know about, our conscious mind, and the one that kind of goes under the radar, the subconscious.
And don't get it twisted, it is this subconscious mind that is the real powerhouse. It's like your silent co-pilot, your autopilot system. It holds a lifetime of information and just runs the programs. You know, your habits, your beliefs, your automatic reactions, all without you having to lift a finger. So, that leads to a huge question, right? If our subconscious is running on all these programs, who wrote the code? Well, let's get into how that programming actually happens. The main thing to get is that most of this programming wasn't done on purpose. It's just absorbed through pure repetition. I mean, think about the songs you hear on the radio over and over again, the stuff you see on the news every single day, and of course, the messages you heard as a kid. It all just seeps in and becomes your default operating system.
It's like this. Your mind is this incredibly fertile garden, and it doesn't judge the seeds you plant. As the saying goes, you put good stuff in, you're going to get good stuff out. You put garbage in, well, you're going to get garbage out. It's that simple. If you constantly feed it empowering ideas, that's what's going to grow.
Okay, and this is the part that is so unbelievably powerful, but also a little scary if you're not aware of it. Your subconscious mind is not a critical thinker. It has no BS detector. It doesn't fact check. It just accepts whatever you tell it over and over and over again as the truth. And that right there is why your own self-talk is probably the most important factor in your success. Okay, so let's dig into the user manual for these two minds, because understanding what each one does is the absolute key to getting them to work for you instead of against you. So here's the simplest way to look at it. Your conscious mind? That's the security guard at the front gate. It's critical, it asks questions, and it deals with anything new or unexpected. Now the subconscious, that's the worker on the assembly line inside. It doesn't ask questions, it just runs the programs it's been given, all your habits and all your routines.
To make this totally clear, let's use an example that I think we can all relate to: driving a car. So picture yourself on your daily commute, a route you have driven hundreds, maybe thousands of times. You're relaxed. You're not really thinking about it, right?
That feeling of just being on autopilot? Yep, that is your subconscious mind taking the wheel. It's handling the steering, the gas, the brake, the navigation, and that frees up your conscious mind to think about your day or listen to some music.
But then, bam! Out of nowhere, in a split second, everything changes. A deer leaps out onto the road. The routine is completely shattered.
And right there, that's the switch. Instantly, your conscious mind grabs the controls. It slams on the brakes, your heart starts pounding, and you are 100% present, analyzing this new, dangerous situation. See the difference? The subconscious runs the routine. The conscious handles the emergency.
So if our subconscious is running on some old code that might be holding us back, how do we become the programmer? Let's talk about the tools we can use to start rewriting our own code for success. Okay, check out this story. It's a perfect example. There was an Olympic athlete who, on paper, was flawless. Her stats were off the charts, but for some reason, she kept falling short of winning the gold medal. The problem wasn't in her muscles, it was in her mind.
Her coach figured it out. Her deep-seated limiting belief was that she just couldn't see herself winning. So they started a reprogramming process. First, he had her visualize success, to just sit, close her eyes, and mentally rehearse over and over again the feeling of crossing that finish line first. Then they reinforced it with self-talk. She literally listened to her own voice on a recording saying, "I am a champion." You see, our subconscious doesn't really think in words. It thinks in pictures. So by combining that powerful visualization with repetitive, emotional self-talk, she basically installed a new program. She started to truly believe she was a champion. And guess what? Her performance rose to meet that belief. The result? She won that Olympic gold medal.
But listen, this isn't some magic wand. I want you to really let this number sink in. 17. Why is that number so important? Well, some research suggests it can take up to 17 positive reinforcements, 17 positive thoughts, pictures, or actions to counteract and replace just one negative programming that's been stuck in our minds. That shows you the sheer weight of our old programming, and it proves why being consistent with this work is absolutely everything.
All right, so this all brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. This is the master key to unlocking all of it, a core teaching from the great Jim Rohn. This is one of his most famous quotes, and it's really the foundation of this whole philosophy. Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune.
So what does he really mean by that? It means your most important work isn't what you do from 9 to 5. The most important project you will ever work on is you. Your job pays the bills for sure, but the time you spend working on your own mind, learning, growing, rewriting those old beliefs, that is the investment that creates your fortune. It is the key to unlocking everything you're capable of.
So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Now that you know you're the one at the keyboard, what is the one program, the one limiting belief that you are going to start rewriting starting today? Thanks for joining me.